What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, and as you can see by the title, today we're gonna have some girl talk. Okay, we're gonna get into comparing yourself, becoming the woman you want to be, femininity, nurturing, the whole nine. Okay, now if you can't tell, I'm a little sick, okay, but I'm filming for y'all anyway. I'm also figuring out like my film setup. I don't know, like right now I have you guys like by the fireplace, and it's like okay, cool, kiki, pillow talk. If y'all have seen my last few videos, they've literally all been different locations. You tell me what your favorite location is down below. Be a part of the process, okay? Also, this is my new house, well, apartment. Well, this is our new apartment. If y'all didn't know, me and my man moved in together, okay? So it's still coming together though. I will give y'all a little bit of a tour whenever we get it together. There's still like a few more furniture pieces and stuff I kind of want to, you know what I mean? But let's just get into the video. But first, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do. We talk about girl talk, self-love, relationships, everything in between. So join the family. And now let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, okay? Becoming your best self as a woman, reaching your highest potential as a woman is going to look different for everybody. Womanhood is not a one-size-fits-all. Everybody compares their journey, and then that's why we have to jump into comparison and how to stop doing that. Girl, everybody compares their journey, and it's just like what's for you is for you. When you try to like idolize what someone else's journey looks like, you try to make that your idea of what womanhood is, you may be, not the sniffling girl, anyway, you may be missing out on what is at the top of your womanhood journey. Everybody knows comparison is the thief of joy, but we do it anyway. We're gonna go on the girls page that we compare ourselves to. We're gonna keep following them. You are to be idolized. You need to idolize yourself, okay? You are the one. As harsh of a truth as it is, you will only ever be yourself. You can try to be like this girl over here all you want to, but you will never ever be her, and you'll always feel that, you'll always know that. And so it's better to be a version of you that you haven't met yet than to try to be a version of someone that you have. It feels more fulfilling when you get there because it's authentic, because it's you, versus trying to be a duplicate of something you could never duplicate. What's the phrase? They can imitate, but they can never duplicate. And that's really what it is. No two things will ever be exact. Even twins, right? Like even identical twins, there's something. You can tell them apart a little bit. And so it's the same thing with you. If you try to idolize and imitate somebody else in their journey because you think she's just the ultimate woman, you'll always feel less than. You'll always feel like you're not the ultimate woman because she is to you, and you will never be her. Now, although that's a harsh truth, and that probably is not like fun to be reminded of, like, oh, I'll never be her, try to shift your perspective into, I love that I'll never be her because I know that I can always be me. And that's such a privilege. Like, it's such a privilege to be you. You're so unique. You're so special. Your path is so exciting. I've said this in an old video, like years ago, but it stands true. I always say with comparison, it's like you on your path, you're driving your car, and when you compare yourself, you're looking in the lanes next to you at people driving their car, and you're wondering like, how can I beat them, or how are they going so fast, or this and that. You want to know why? Do you want to know why, girl? Because you're not focused on your path. You're not focused on your lane. And you know why they're going faster? Because they're focused on their lane. So they see obstacles that are coming, they're able to swerve past them, they see what's coming ahead, they can prepare for it. But you keep hitting things over and over again that are roadblocks because you weren't looking ahead. You weren't looking in your own lane. You were looking at theirs. They saw those roadblocks coming in their lanes. They were able to prepare, and because you're so focused on them swerving, you're not swerving, okay? And you're hitting each and every roadblock. And so I always say that metaphor just because it's so important to focus on your path. Your path was designed for you. It has roadblocks in it that are yours and that you need to prepare for. All of our roadblocks don't come at the same point. All of them are not the same. And so just because somebody is going really fast in their lane right now doesn't mean that they won't hit a roadblock either. It doesn't mean that they won't peep at your roadblock sometimes too and halt themselves. It doesn't mean that, because roadblocks are like the building blocks of how we form ourselves and how we get to the destination more fulfilled. That's how we enjoy our road trip. It's boring to look at the same thing the whole time, you know? The mishaps are fun sometimes. Like, think about a road trip, and like you may have some mishaps along the way, and then like after it and you get to your destination, like you and all your friends that were on that road trip kiki about it. Like you and all your friends are like, oh my god, girl, remember when the car broke down? Oh my god, remember when we ran out of gas? Oh, like, and it's fun, and it built the story. It made the road trip more fun. And so view your mishaps as, this is a part of my story, girl. I would be so bored if everything was just one way all the time. And when I get older and when I get through this, I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be like, that was such a crazy time. And it's gonna build you into who you wanna be. It's gonna build you into that woman that you're idolizing, because that woman that you're idolizing is yourself. Everything that you desire to be in other women is in you. You just have to be able to pull it out. You're able to recognize it because you have it. Just because you may not physically feel that somebody else is struggling in their journey because it looks like where they are on the path is more exciting than yours, like they may not be enjoying it, or they could be, and you should be happy for them. If you want to become the best woman you can be, stop being a hater. It doesn't help you to be like, she thinks she all that. No, you think she all that. And that's okay. Good. Tell her. Like, girl, you are all that. Every time you catch your brain on some hate or something, switch it. Like, okay, well, she only has those bags because this dude bought them for her. Good for her. I love that she's being spoiled. Live your life, queen. If you're upset because the girl over there has these Birkin bags, you hating on the fact that she has these Birkin bags is not gonna take them from her, and it's not gonna put one in your lap. So what are we gaining? Rather than you being supportive and putting out positive, loving energy and getting that back, and maybe your man will do the same. Or maybe you will be put in a position where you can do it for you if that's something that you so desire. Like, putting the energy out that you want to receive is a critical part in becoming a better woman, a stronger woman, a more confident woman, a happier woman, a more peaceful woman. And it starts with having peace within self. Now, speaking on peace within self, when it comes to building yourself up, sometimes you have to break yourself down to build yourself back up properly. Sometimes you need to see all the pieces in front of you. Like, think about it like this. I'm just full of metaphors today, y'all, but think about it like this. If you're building something, right? Like, let's say you buy something for the house, little furniture piece, little something, little Bob the Builder vibe, okay? You're building something and something just don't look right. Sometimes you have to take that apart and be like, okay, where did I mess up? What step did I skip? Like, what am I missing? Is there a part that I didn't put in? Is there a part that I did put in that's not supposed to be there? Like, where did I go wrong? And then build it back up so it can be better, so it can be exactly what it was supposed to be, so it can be perfect, right? And so for you, sometimes you have to break yourself down into all those pieces and parts in front of you in order for you to be built up into the beautiful piece that you want to be, because you might have put a screw where it wasn't supposed to go. That screw can represent negative habits, negative self-thinking, negative self-thought, negative self-perception. That might be a screw that's in a place it should not be. Something may be missing a screw. You may not have given yourself that self-love along the way. You may have some trauma that you didn't deal with, and so there's a void in there, and so there's a screw missing, and that's why you hanging a little funny. It's because there may be parts missing because you're avoiding breaking yourself down to build yourself back up. But that process can feel very isolating and lonely sometimes, and so because of that, I'm excited to tell you guys about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. So, like I've told y'all before, BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible, which is super important because finding a therapist when you're limited to just the options in your area can be very, very difficult. Okay? BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist so much easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a therapist in as little as a few days. Of course, there's a link in my description, betterhelp.com/Taty. Now, of course, clicking that link helps support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp so you can connect with therapists and see if they're right for you. And because finding a therapist is a little bit like dating, okay? You can switch out your therapist at any time, which is super common, and you don't have to worry about the stress of insurance, who's in your network, none of that. Breaking myself down to build myself back up probably wouldn't have gone half as smooth if I did not have a therapist, and so I am always an advocate for getting some help, okay? So if you're interested or you need some help in building those blocks back up, make sure you consider online therapy with BetterHelp. You can click the link in my description or go to betterhelp.com/Taty. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into it. Okay, so another thing I want to touch on, and I feel like this is something I want to make like a full video on, so I guess we'll just touch on it, but it's going to be the whole idea of femininity. And I think this needs like a dedicated sit-down talk, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned to y'all that like femininity does not, this is my cat by the way, femininity does not look the same for everybody, okay? Like, for example, I've struggled in my own journey with femininity because most of the time, I mean, sometimes you guys see me dressed like this, you know, like girly, whatever, like typical, you know, stereotype. If you know me in real life or you see me when I'm out with my boyfriend or whatever it is, I'm normally like sneakered up, big jacket, like fly, don't get me wrong, but not like tight dress heels. That's not really like my vibe if I'm going out, right? And so I've struggled with that from time to time because as y'all know, my boyfriend is a DJ, and so, you know, we're in environments a lot, in clubs or events or whatever it is, where a lot of women express their femininity differently than I. And so I've had this conversation with him before where I'm like, you know, like, am I not that feminine of a woman? I wonder if that makes me seem like less feminine or more aggressive or You know what I'm saying? I wonder how that, like, people perceive that. And he used to always tell me, like, you are literally the most feminine person. Like, I don't know where you get that from. And I'd be like, you don't get it. Like, I sat down with myself and I realized my femininity comes from here. Okay, not to be corny, but it comes from in here. My femininity comes from my spirit. I think how I speak, how I carry myself, how I nurture. You can express your femininity in so many different ways, and I think as I start to cherish the way that I like to express my femininity through my words, through my comfort, I appreciate it more and it makes me feel closer to the woman that I want to be. Finding yourself as a woman is about finding what works for you. It's not about what works for the next girl. It's not about what you see online. What works for you and how can you make it work in your favor? How can you work it, okay? How can you work what works for you? And that's just what it comes down to. Who are you and how do you like to express it, okay? Everybody has to find what it means to be feminine to them. And I think that's something you should explore. Try different things. Like, do you feel you're most feminine when you're dancing? Do you dance really feminine to you? Dance more. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel really feminine when you're reading a book with a cup of tea? Does that make you feel feminine? Do it every day. Whatever it is that's gonna make you feel like you're building and you're nurturing your womanhood, because that's a part of you that has to be nurtured as well. For example, people may feel like, you know, oh, I have to nurture, you know, my muscles, so I have to go to the gym every day, and I have to nurture, you know, my finances, so I have to work every day. There are other like hidden parts that also need to be nurtured as well that can't fall behind. So you also need to nurture your womanhood, your femininity. What makes you feel strong in that? What makes you feel wealthy in that area? Give more attention to that. You also need to nurture your emotions, your emotional intelligence, your emotional safety. What helps you feel like strong in your emotions and who you are? How do you express your emotions? Is it painting? Is it being verbal? Is it, I don't know, like whatever, you understand what I'm saying? There are so many parts of yourself that you have to nurture as a woman, and I think sometimes we focus on the ones that are the least important. I think in building yourself and finding who you want to be as your highest self as a woman, it starts with breaking it back down. As I said, it starts with figuring out, okay, hold on, at my core, who am I? What makes me feel whole? When am I my most comfortable? And how can I express that more often? Does that make sense? Alright, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's just a quick little pick you up as far as building yourself as a woman. You got this. I believe in you. You're doing great, okay? Your journey is yours. Own it, claim it, love it, live it, okay? That sounded like a, you know, those Marshalls like home things that's like live, laugh, love. I know it sounded like that, but it's true. Those behave sometimes, okay? But I love y'all so much. Let's have discussion in the comments, and I will see y'all in my next one.